What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today for a one card PSA reveal and to discuss the risks and rewards of grading. For those that may not remember, about a month or so ago now, 2023 Bowman Sapphire came out. Much ballyhooed product, limited print runs, reverse Dutch auction, people lost their minds. I got my boxes at $375 a piece. I ordered 3 of them. I ripped one. I continue to hold the other 2. They're going for between $600 and $700 a box, closer to $600 now, but generally speaking, kind of in that range. I ripped my one box. I hit a Spencer Jones base Sapphire, a Cam Collier base Sapphire, obviously a bunch of other first base Sapphires. The Cam I sold for like $20. The Spencer Jones I sold for like $30 raw. I sold those at the Ship Shawana show. And my big hit out of the box was a Cam Collier green auto out of 50. Took it to Ships, attempted to move it raw. It was just really tricky to price because there was literally no comps to products that had been out for about a day and a half. So it was just really, really tricky to come up with a decent number for it that myself and any potential buyer was interested in. So did not move it. I said, if I don't move it, then I am sending it off to PSA when I get it back, or when I get back from Ships. I thought the card was borderline. I thought it was a classic PSA 9.5, which, if you know, it doesn't actually exist. There was a couple surface marks on the front. Nothing super crazy, but enough that I was at least like, on it. I thought that there was a chance, 100% chance, not 100% chance, there was a decent chance that it could 10, but I also would not have been surprised if it caught a 9 or got a 9. I thought it was very borderline. So then you have to go into the risk assessment of all this, of, is it worth it? Because I sent it at the $75 level to get it back, A, quicker, and 2, because of the declared value, technically it was probably a little bit higher on this card. I probably could have snuck it through a bulk sub, but I didn't want to wait a month and a half to get it back. So off she went. Unfortunately, that was right when PSA got backed up because they announced a new special. So then it took a week just to get checked in. Once it got checked in, it flew through the grading process, but it took like 12 days just to get checked into the system, even on a regular order. And then it started moving through the system very quickly. It got graded, I think, in about a week once it cleared the system itself. But you got to sit down and then you before you even send it off, you're running the math essentially in your head. Hey, if this comes back a PSA 9, am I adding any value to it by spending $75 to grade it? Long story short, probably not, or not much at all. It does remove some peace of mind when you go to sell it, because you don't have to worry about someone clapping back on you and be like, you didn't disclose the surface mark that you can only see under 20x magnification and all that nonsense. So if selling it as a PSA 9 just makes things clear cut on it. So I figured if it came back a 9, I would probably be losing a little bit on it versus what I could have just sold it raw for when you factor in the grading fee on it. But if it 10s, now it's a whole different ballgame. Now you've really elevated the card to a very strong level, and you can make a really nice return on it. So I rolled the dice and figured, hey, it was worth the risk. Now, for anyone doing this at home, I always like to mention this. I do have a little bit of a cheat code on this, and my cheat code is the content aspect of it. I always like to be very clear on that, because that is an advantage that I have that the vast majority do not. I earn revenue off of doing the videos. It's not a ton. I'll break it down in an upcoming video, but you're looking at anywhere from 25 to, on a really good video, $50 a video, depending. That factored into my equation as well, is, hey, I will get multiple pieces of content out of this, and that helps cover the cost essentially of the grading and kind of eases up some of that burden. So that definitely factored into my mind as well. So we sent her off. The grade popped the other day. I got the card back, and you can probably tell by the tone and general tenor of this video, she got the PSA 9. I do think this is a very clean copy. Like I said, there was, and you probably won't even be able to see it on the through the slab. That little mark there is not on the card itself, but there was some little surface stuff kind of in that general neck of the woods, kind of like roller marks. I tried to wipe them off with a dry cloth. They really didn't come off that well, but everything else looked pretty good. Corners on this card looked pretty good. Centering is pretty solid on this. It's off a little bit, but not a ton. I checked it with a centering tool. It looked pretty decent. Like I said, ever so slightly a little heavy on the left compared to the right, but not drastic in my opinion. So she came back for 9. I currently have this listed on eBay. I don't even remember what I put up for. I just kind of threw it up there with a best offer. Buy it now and kind of see what rolls in. So what is the plan now? I think I'm going to let it ride on eBay for a while. I'm not going to auction it off. I'll wait to see kind of what offers come in. And then with the National a month away, I am strongly considering, if it doesn't sell by the time the National comes around, and we get word on whatever the hell Beckett is doing, I may crack it and grade it in person at the National. And see if we can get a BGS 9.5. Because I think it has a legit shot at a BGS 9.5, in my opinion. Now, what does a BGS 9.5 mean? At present time, we don't really know. At least at the time of recording this video. Not sure when this is going to go up yet. So we don't have really clarity on what a BGS 9.5 actually means or how that's all going to play out. That could swing me a little bit. But if it doesn't sell on eBay, I will take it to the National and either look to move it there or crack it. I will not cross it. I will crack it and resubmit it to Beckett for on-site grading at the National and see what it comes back as. Like I said, I think it was a very borderline PSA 10 card. I think it could have went either way. And was I surprised by the 9? No. Would I have been surprised if I got a 10? No. Like I said, I thought it was a coin flip shot. You roll the dice. It was a risk. I knew the risks going in. Like I said, I have some risk mitigation because of the content aspect of it. Overall, I should still be fine on that box opening from a net positive, even if this only sells for $300 or $400. The box only cost me $375. I'd already sold about $50 to $60 worth of stuff out of that box, plus the videos out of it. Plus, I have some stuff I need to send to ComC off that box break as well. So, I mean, that's what you do. That's the risk. That's the reward. Sometimes it pays off. You get the PSA 10 and it's a massive W. Sometimes it's a PSA 9 and it hits you with a slight loss. Those are the breaks. That's what happens. But as long as you are more accurate than not, like you come out ahead on that, more accurate than not, like even if it's 60% of the time, then it's a net positive. It wins in the long run. And on these little one card orders, it gets a little tricky because it's very much all or nothing. We'll talk more about that I have a couple more cards to move off of it, but I plan on doing a full recap video on that PSA bulk sub that I sent out. I did like a full, this is how much it cost to grade it. Here's what it sold for, all that stuff in a spreadsheet that we'll kind of revisit. Because a lot of people were like, why are you sending these cards? You're going to lose a ton of money on this submission. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is a bunch of junk. You're going to lose your ass on all these. And spoiler alert, I am coming out well ahead on that bulk submission, even with the cards that I sent in, and even with the amount of 9s that I got in that. I mean, I got more 10s than 9s, but overall, that submission is going to be a win for me. Am I retiring off of it? No, but I am going to be a net positive on that submission 100%. I already am, and I still have cards left to move. So those are the breaks. That's what happens sometimes, but it's all good. We just keep on churning and move on to the next one. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.